Hello everyone, welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson, channeling the future today, and this is going to be a political reading. I want to take a look at Trump and see about the trial and whether it's going to be televised. I know there's a variety of trials, but I just want to see in general if any of them will be televised and if that will make any difference. I also want to know about Matt Gaetz because, well, you can imagine why. Let's take a look at Gaetz. You know, he did have another associate. It looks like they are going to be confronted on some of their illegal issues. Let us see, first of all, about, and I'm afraid I don't know Getz's pal's name. I don't think it really matters, but I just might refer to him as Getz's pal. Let's say, first of all, if the trials, any of the trials with Trump, are going to be televised. You know, I'm kind of getting a no, but a maybe. That is, I see televisions, these are probably different trials, X through them, X through them, X through them, no. But it's almost like maybe it'll be parts of it will be televised. You know how sometimes they draw those pictures and maybe even, well, let's just ask, are they going to do a picture thing or is it going to be a movie thing, TV thing? So let's see. It's a little more than just the pictures. Will there be recordings, audio? And I'm getting more than audio. It's like I get this almost like picture thing. What does that mean? Although there are obviously going to be a lot of things where he goes to court and he's kind of on TV in that way. But I'm just thinking that it seems like it's a problem for Trump. So one problem is that he really is going to get smacked down enough so that he can't say much. If you notice, you know, always they do ad hominem arguments. They're always attacking the individuals. This should show everybody that they're guilty, because if you had good reasons to contradict these lawsuits, you would say them. You would say this evidence is false or this is not a real thing, but they always attack a person. And so Trump doesn't really have an argument. He doesn't really have a defense. His lawyers don't have anything to say. If you look at every single time he submits, then all of the submissions of the lawyers are just crackpot stuff. They don't really have any legal merit. They're just like, we don't like you, kind of stuff. And if you look at any of them, any legal analysis, there isn't anything that they can say. They saw here are the boxes in the basement. What argument could you make? It's just other than a false one, which is that he has the right to do that. Of course, he does not have the right to do that. So there isn't a legal argument. There's an argument that you make on TV or the internet, right? So I am getting like a Fox News reporters interviewing him, and it's like controversy swirling around Trump, like a controversy. And I'm kind of seeing the Fox News person looking at him and just kind of getting I'm going to take a step back from this. This looks dangerous. You do get this sort of feeling that the Fox News person is kind of, it's inescapable, like what Trump has done and said. They're having difficulty covering it up. They actually, in this particular case, don't know what to say. They cannot figure out a way to spin this so that it makes the Republican Party or Trump look innocent. Now this reporter is just turning to me and he just looks quite devastated and a little ashamed. I just get the feeling that that is the nature of the trials ahead of us, that there is going to be enough antics on Trump's part that it is not going to make him look good. I also think that he is cognitively impaired, right? It's starting to show. He's starting to not really be able to identify who is the president who preceded him. right? So he is declining, and that's going to be obvious fairly soon. It's a rapid descent, frankly, because of the stress that he's under, and this is all stress that he has created. So look forward to this sort of very downward crash. I think his numbers by the time that the presidency rolls around will be much lower. I'm getting like in the 30s. He will not do well. And I think that is because of the legal trials against him have pushed him to explain himself, and he really cannot. Let's take a look at Matt Gaetz. It's always gross to look at some of these people. I mean, like, you ever seen Nosferatu? He's like this Dracula character, and the old ugly Dracula, not a good looking Dracula. Let's see. Dracula. So what about his friend? Is this gonna sink him? Well, I'll just say Getz has this, that fake smile on his face that he always has, that nasty, mean kid smile on his face. And he's just watching it all from a distance at the fake smile. And, um, there's something in criminality that they call a duping delight. And that's when a criminal or, murderer or someone, they lie to you to your face, and then they can't stop themselves from smiling. You can look at murderers who do this, and they're just, and it's called duping delight. It's like the emotional reaction. They cannot help themselves when they are enjoying the lie, and that's the feeling that I get with Matt Gaetz. He likes. It is enjoyable to lie in that way. Is a very cruel person. Was enjoyable for them to, frankly, abuse women uh, because it makes him feel powerful. One thing is, this next criminal friend of Getz, he might take some kind of plea where he does gets in trouble. Keep in mind, Gaetz has done some things that have pissed off even Republicans. He's done some really nasty stuff, like Kevin McCarthy's no fan. So understand that there are people within his own party that'd like to get rid of him. This is a really interesting development. I hope everybody notices. Republicans are starting to go after themselves, and it's inevitable. You put a bunch of criminals in a room together, and the only people they can steal from are each other. That's what they're going to do. These people will just cannibalize one another. All right. So this guy's fingering him. He doesn't want to go to jail. He will go to jail, but it'll be for a shorter time. Gets his smile is wilting. He's starting to back away. I think that Getz will be in some very serious trouble. I see them putting handcuffs on Getz, and that this time he will face an accuser. He did this before, but the victim in this crime, he went out with underage girls and moved them from state to state. Very illegal. But these people grew up, these young women grew up, and they didn't want their lives destroyed. They didn't want their faces flashed all over television. They know that there's a threat, even a physical threat, that they will be doxxed. So they didn't do it. But this particular, I see one woman in particular, and it's funny, it's almost like there's a chain connecting them. I don't know what the chain means, but it's almost like bondage. Like this woman had enough of being exploited. and there's a realization on her part that she's been exploited, and that she wants to stop it, wants payback. And she is seeing how she has been exploited by men before. I think this is really important, that almost symbolic people keep showing up. They're almost like the representation of justice, that are the person you would want. Like lots of black women are prosecuting Trump. It's very telling and sort of beautiful in its own way, sort of justice. Those people represent all of us, of course, in their pursuit towards justice. I'm just gonna sort of see if there's anything else that, there is a feeling of justice. I am seeing liberty, and, that justice is always a woman, she's holding that, the scales of justice. And just get the feeling, it takes a while. It takes a long time to get here, because that's the way justice works. It's difficult to make sure that everything is fair. It's a lot easier to have a dictatorship, but the fairness aspect means we all have to be patient. We all have to go out and vote. We all have to change things in a fairly slow way. But it's almost like they're saying, just accept that it takes time, and you'll be all right. It does require patience and analysis and awareness and all of these other things, but it won't happen overnight. It'll still happen though. Thanks so much for watching.